from the outside coming up with Brereton Horne. Brereton brings us up to steam and stuff that's happening on the outside. Looking in, a view from the outside coming right up.
Tune into Nice Radio every Saturday at 7:30 a.m. for A View from the Outside, hosted by Brereton Horne. A View from the Outside takes a look at key issues affecting St. Vincent and the Grenadines and gives a global perspective on how these issues are viewed. Host Brereton Horne will examine a variety of topics to enlighten, stimulate debate, and explore solutions. Hear the facts, hear the real-life stories, hear A View from the Outside. Join Brereton Horne at 7:30 a.m. every Saturday on Nice Radio for A View from the Outside.
This society need a spectacle. It might help us to see some evil. This society need a spectacle.
Another of those beautiful Saturdays here on the nicest piece of real estate, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. As we say good morning to Mr. Brereton Horne. Good morning, sir. How are you doing this morning?
I am very good, Randy. Good morning to you. How are you?
I'm great. A little problem with swollen feet or 1 foot. Started out with a toe, then it went down to the ankle, but I'm hobbling along. The friend said you're a hobbler now.
Well, I hope you get that sorted out. And in view of our medical facilities or lack thereof, I hope that it is indeed sorted out with haste.
Well, it's something that happens from time to time. It's something called gout, something like that, with an acid. So it's a matter of getting rid of too much acid in the system. So I'm working on that.
I see. Maybe when Vinabot comes on with healthy vibes, you can run that by him.
Well, yeah, but I've got my own little health people here. Says get yourself a young papa. And you boil that and drink the water and eat the stuff, and that gets rid of the acid. So
yes, actually, the young popper, as you say, is quite good for many things. It's good for stews and everything else as well. So yes, it does have well-rounded purposes.
For the last time we had chat, we spoke about Scaramucci and all these guys. No Scaramucci, no Priebus, no. What's happening? The general has taken over.
Yes, I wasn't here live last week. I know that you played you did a replay of the Emancipation from last year, and I understand from feedback that it was well received again. Yes, but you're quite right. Scaramucci has come and gone. General Kelly has taken over, and a grand jury has been appointed. So, Randy, every time we chat about the politics in the United States of America, I keep saying to you, time will tell. And time is indeed telling every time we speak.
I like the big man, though. He's decided this is time to take a vacation, so I'm going to play some golf. You people worry about me. I'm worrying about playing a game of golf.
America cannot say that they didn't know what they were getting into. And so whatever happens from here on in, or from there on in when he was elected, America have themselves to blame. They could only accept what they voted in. You know, I see that you have been stirring it up this morning with your music, and your music as usual is so apropos, Randy, that it just brings back memories from time to time.
It's that kind of week where we had a whole lot of rain sometimes you're just getting yourself organized. I came out of the house on Thursday after stayed in on Friday because of the foot problem, and just figuring it was going to be a good Thursday afternoon. As soon as you got outside, a whole lot of rain. So I felt this morning as I got up and I looked outside, the sound came to me. I can see clearly now the rain. So it just needed to stir it up a bit.
You stir it up, little darling, as the song puts it. Yes, Randy. Good morning to all of the listeners of Nice Radio everywhere, and those at home and abroad. And in London, it's really a cloudy morning, and in fact there is, rain in the atmosphere. The temperature is reasonably okay. It is 21 degrees Celsius, which is approximately 70 degrees Fahrenheit. And as you know, Randy, this weekend into next week is the World Athletics Championship here in London at the Olympic Stadium, and Usain Bolt and Mo Farah. So Mo Farah, as he's called now, is they both are doing the swan song, so to speak, this weekend in London. So when we speak next week, we should be able to say that Usain Bolt is still the fastest man on earth. Let's hope. Let's hope.
I notice also that Europe is facing a heat wave, not affecting you and your part of the world.
Not affecting us, no. I think we had our heat wave earlier in the summer, which really wasn't as bad as it is reported elsewhere in Europe at the moment. But who knows? Maybe it's coming our way again. If it does, you'll be the first to know. On A View from the Outside this week, Randy, we look at heroes, 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 with the view being that St. Vincent and the Grenadines is losing its heroes, and with the sustained attempt to oppose and suppress critical thinking and opposing views in the country, there is a danger that there will be no replacements for the fallen heroes. On A View from the Outside, we dedicate today's program to one of St. Vincent and the Grenadines' most worthy heroes. It is with sincere love and deep appreciation that we dedicate the program to the late Oscar Allen of Diamond Village. Oscar Allen was affectionately called Brother A, and was, and still is, even in death, no doubt, revered around the country, around the region, and in the international sphere too. We pause to offer our deepest condolences to all of his family, relatives, and friends. As we mourn Brother A's passing, let us celebrate his life, because his life was a rich one and one worthy of emulating. Brother A was indeed a hero. The Merriam-Webster Dictionary defines a hero as a person who is admired for achievements and noble qualities. And the 2016 Nobel Prize winner in literature, Bob Dylan, said, "A hero is someone who understands the responsibility that comes with freedom." We are of no doubt that Oscar Brother A. Allen was such a person. He was soft-spoken, and his cool, calm demeanor made him very endearing. He was a man who dedicated his life to the struggle of the poor, the oppressed, and dispossessed, and he spent his life educating, edifying, encouraging, and enlightening others. He educated and enlightened young men and women, including teachers, about the struggles of the blacks in the townships also of South Africa during the terrorizing days of apartheid. And he did so at a time when information was not as readily available as it is today. He was also abreast of world events, and he was never selfish with his knowledge. He shared it. He imparted it to all. Brother A always encouraged community spirit, and he was instrumental in the formation of community groups, including Diamondites and Are We in Diamond Village, both of which gained national acclaim. He encouraged critical thinking, and he was never shy to challenge the status quo. He challenged successive governments, and his challenge was always in defense of the poor and downtrodden and the ones who suffer injustice. And he used the power of his writing in the national press to let the governments know. As a result of his challenge on various issues, he often attracted rebuke and ire from the head of the establishment. Brother A remained unperturbed by such venom, and up to his death, and even out of the shadows of his death, he continues to speak and highlight the deficiencies and injustices which exist. He is speaking, even today, about the poor state of the medical and health facilities in the country. Just prior to his unfortunate death, he wrote to the authorities information which has only now been made public since his death. He wrote to the authorities questioning why basic surgical operations, including his own, which was postponed twice, are delayed because there's one anesthesiologist in the hospital. In his own words to hospital administrators, in a letter which he wrote a mere 2 weeks prior to his death, he said, I quote him, "I expect you to remedy this unacceptable deficiency of having one anesthesiologist available at the Milton Cato Memorial Hospital operating theater. Inattention to this problem could lead to fatal consequences." Unquote. His subsequent death has inevitably triggered the question whether such inattention, as he put it, led to his own fatality. Brother A, in most of his recent writings especially, simply couldn't understand how a government which calls itself progressive continues to treat its citizens with such disrespect, disdain, and in such a derogatory and unjust way. On the 30th of May, 2017, Brother A wrote the following in the Searchlight newspaper. I quote, "In St. Vincent and the Grenadines today, a quiet terror is stalking the society and stealing our joy. It is more than the naked celebration of violence and festival of assassinations that we tolerate, if not enjoy, as media stories. It is deeper than our social surrender to manipulation and mamagai by our processes of governance. It may even be more depraved than the studied evil of our moral and religious stalwarts, who hear cries of oppression, see the havoc wreaked by criminal taskmasters, smell the odor of cancerous effluent from the structure of our economy, and vent their spleen on tribal, partisan commerce and partying. The terror is the rot inside us. The terror is our leadership that have fed themselves on the blood of our colonial consciousness and left us with zombie solidarities running behind fig leaves and figment of an empty future. The terror is quiet, but the weakness of our backbone is a signal that is real. I have checked my own several times, and yes, my backbone is shrinking. We are not a nation. We stand together on no ground. Unquote. Brother A ended that article by quoting Amilcar Cabral, whom he described as the, quote, exemplary West African thinker and liberation strategies, unquote. Cabral, at the time, when Brother A quoted him, was addressing the mourners at the funeral of Ghanaian President Kwame Nkrumah, and said, quote, betrayal is the cancer destroying the nation-building process, unquote. In addition to all of the betrayal which Brother A previously witnessed, perhaps he foresaw in that article what subsequently transpired with the betrayal of Sergeant Smith and his colleagues of the Police Welfare Association, which resulted in them being transferred to far-flung parts of the country. Brother A certainly understood the responsibility that came with freedom, and he spent his life endeavoring to impart such understanding to his villagers and fellow Vincentians, citizens generally. He never bragged nor thumped his chest like some do today about how long they have been in the struggle. Perhaps he understood fully the words of the 18th century Swiss philosopher Jean-Jacques Rousseau, who said, heroes are not known by the loftiness of their carriage. The greatest braggarts are generally the merest cowards. Brother A was no coward. Brother A was a humble soul, firmly wedged in his Christian beliefs, who worked continuously for the upliftment of others. It is worth noting that Brother A died just a few days before Emancipation Day. Emancipation Day, a day significant in the lives of the descendants of slaves. A day which is remembered when the ex-slaves were given their freedom. They were emancipated. Maybe in his death, Brother A is reminding everyone to emancipate ourselves fully, mind, body, and soul. Emancipate ourselves from mental slavery. When history talks about Caribbean civilization, Brother A's name is one of the names that will be shouted from the mountaintop. We, on A View from the Outside, consider him a hero. We pay tribute to him, and we encourage all, particularly you, the young people, to see his life as one to emulate, because we are losing our heroes, and the replacement cupboard is all but bare. Rest in peace, Brother A. Until next week, Randy, this is Brereton Horne with A View from the Outside, reminding our listeners to send feedback to aviewfromtheoutside@hotmail.com. That's aviewfromtheoutside@hotmail.com. Randy, have a pleasant Saturday, have a very enjoyable weekend, and have a fruitful week ahead. All the very best to you.
Thank you. Brereton Horne.
Thank you.